last year, data from Redfin showed that more real estate transactions fell apart than at any time since they started recording that data nearly a decade ago. Nationally, 15% of all real estate transactions fell out of escrow. In some metro markets like Atlanta, the December data showed 23% of real estate contracts fell out of escrow. That's 1 in 5 deals. Now, some of these transactions, they were going to fall apart no matter what. There are certain things that happen that are out of our control. We have government shutdowns, layoffs, buyer loses their job, can no longer get qualified for a mortgage. There's nothing we can do about that. But what I've been experiencing is a lot of these transactions fall apart because buyers and sellers right now, they're misaligned. They're misaligned. And we're all Keller Williams agents, right? So we teach models and we teach systems. But I believe that a lot of these transactions don't fall apart because the agent doesn't know what to say, but agents don't know how to navigate tension and fear and ego. And they don't know how to navigate the misalignment. They don't know how to navigate the misalignment in these high stakes conversations. And that's the skills gap that we need to improve. That's the 15%. And that's what the agent advantage is designed for. Can we all agree that in the last 2 years, our job has gotten more difficult? Yes, I see some hands raising. It certainly has for me. And the Shift book teaches us that in a changing market, we need to do more. We need to make more phone calls. And we need to go on more appointments. And we need to write more contracts. And look, I'm not going to stand here on stage at a Keller Williams conference and refute what the Shift book has to say. That's not what I'm going to do. But I want to challenge agents to evolve from this perception of always doing more. And I want us to step into our power to do better, to ask better questions, to have better conversations. I want agents to recognize that by the time you wrote an offer for that buyer, you've already had 5 or 6 negotiations along the way. You see, when I say smarter negotiation, I'm not just talking about negotiating between buyers and sellers. I'm talking about negotiation with our prospects, negotiations with our clients, negotiations with sellers about price. Anybody having negotiations with their sellers about price right now? Yeah. Negotiating with our buyers about timing and motivation. Negotiating with our vendors. We're having negotiations with our team leads and our rainmakers. How about this one? Negotiation with your market center leadership. My market center leadership's right over here, so. And some of the most difficult negotiations that we have as agents is negotiating with ourselves. And when we're negotiating with ourselves, that's a version of our past self. That's negotiating with a version of our future self. And I'll just share with you that when you find yourself in that situation, you have to ask the question, which version do you love more? So I'll add that when we go into these negotiations, we go into these conflicts, you can usually feel it, right? Sometimes your heart rate might tick up on your way to that listing consultation. Or maybe if you're like me, you maybe start to sweat a little bit under here when you're having a difficult conversation. Or maybe, just maybe, the little hairs on the back of your neck stick up when you feel like your client is being taken advantage of, or if you feel like the other side isn't playing ball. These physical sensations that we experience, this is millions and millions of years of biology. This is chemistry. Because our brains are hardwired to protect us. So our brains are constantly scanning for threats. And it used to be on the lookout for a predator that might attack us out of the blue. But luckily, we don't live in a time where we're worried about a saber-toothed tiger like dragging us into the bush, right? But the thing about our brains is our brain can't tell the difference between the saber-toothed tiger and the perceived threat from a cooperating agent. The biology is the same. Your brain is still trying to protect you. So as agents, what do? We default to our animal instincts. Because remember, we're just animals. And what does an animal do when it's faced with a threat? It does one of three things. It fights, it flights, or it freezes. Within the agent framework, we've labeled these responses depending on how you might engage with that conflict. So when you're faced with a conflict, you might be a turtle. The turtle avoids the conflict. The turtle retreats into its shell and prays that the conflict will disappear. A lot of people will revert to this negotiating style because they don't want to rock the boat. They want to keep the peace. Do I have any turtles in the audience? It's okay. Guys, this is a safe space, okay? I'm a reformed turtle myself. All right? Your other option when faced with a conflict is to play the puppy dog. The puppy dog just kind of rolls over and just agrees with the other person. You just go along. You might think to yourself, I really care about this relationship. I care about this person, but I don't really care what happens here. So you just roll over. You play the puppy dog. And some of us, when we go into a negotiation, we act like lions. And if you're a lion, you want to win. You want to win at all costs. And I'll tell you something. In a negotiation, every time there's a loss or there's a perceived loss, it always comes at a cost. And I bet you there's I see a lot of people shaking their heads who self-identify as lions. And I get it, guys. We're real estate agents. We're supposed to be tough negotiators. And I'm not saying that any of these negotiation styles are wrong. There's absolutely a time and a place in our business and in our life for each one of these. What I'm saying is that these are our default modes. These are our animal instincts. And in some markets, we can get by on just these three alone. But not this market. This market demands that we ask better questions. And it demands that we have better conversations. It demands that we come from curiosity and we have empathy. This market demands that we show up as an agent negotiator. To be an agent negotiator is to override your animal instinct and to embrace your humanity. It challenges agents to see conflict as a collaboration, as an opportunity to get creative. It reminds us to ask questions. Questions like, what actually matters here in this negotiation? Questions like, what am I or my client trying to protect? Questions like, what are we afraid of? You see, agent is an acronym. It's our guide for when the little hairs stand up on the back of your neck or when our claws come out. Notice the animal imagery there when your claws come out. So agent stands for A, aware. When we feel our heart rate tick up, we don't go headfirst into that conflict. We stop. We take a breath. We become aware that this is a conflict, and we ask ourselves, how much do I care about this person? Or how much do I care about this relationship? And we ask, how much do I care about the outcome? We get to decide if we care about those things. We get to decide if collaboration is the correct course of action. And if it is, you ask the question, what would an agent do? G, ground yourself. This is your opportunity to ask not what do I want in this moment, but why do I want it? This is where you take a few breaths and you override the chemicals that are flowing through your brain when it's in that defensive state. Then you empathize. Empathy is doing the hard work of stepping in the other person's shoes, not to agree with them, but to understand where they're coming from. And this is your opportunity to ask questions like, what pressure is this person under? What is this person afraid of losing? What assumptions do they have? And what data is navigating their decision? Once you've done that, the fun starts. You can negotiate. And this is your opportunity to get creative. You're able to connect dots that weren't previously available to you because you took the time to ask questions and to understand. And then you tie it all together with a written agreement that clearly outlines what both parties are supposed to do. And this is what takes a great collaboration and makes it real and not just theoretical. The thing about a framework like Agent is it's not useful if you don't practice it. Okay? Remember, we're overriding millions of years of biology. This is not easy stuff. And you guys are going to go out to this conference and you're going to learn some amazing things. But everything you learn, it doesn't matter if it doesn't leave your notebook. I'm talking about action and implementation. Luckily, we live at a time where we have a coach, we have a role play partner, we have a tutor, right here, right in our pockets. We have AI tools, including an AI agent coach that can allow you to rehearse a conversation before it actually happens. This gives you the opportunity to simulate a conflict, to map interests, to come up with creative solutions before you ever even step into the room. And I think more importantly, you have the technology to relive conversations that have already happened. So if you ever go into a negotiation and you feel like you lost, you can go back to your AI agent coach. Instead of driving home from the listing consultation, kicking yourself and thinking about all the things that you could have said, you can go back to your agent coach. You can recreate the conversation. You can explore. You can experiment. You can grow, and you can learn from your mistakes so that the next time you go into a negotiation, you're better prepared. You show up grounded. You show up calm in your delivery. You show up with empathy. And you show up as a human being. So I'll give you a really quick story of how this played out for my business last year. I had the opportunity to go on a listing consultation for a luxury property in my market. It was a cold appointment, and I was up against other agents. Historically, my conversion rate for that exact scenario is, I'm working on it. The room for improvement. Instead of going into that consultation with my tired old listing presentation where I present the data, I go over my marketing plan, and I try and convince them that I'm the best man for the job, I went to my AI agent coach. I gave it information that I learned from my pre-listing consultation questionnaire. From that phone call, I learned that it was their first time selling a home. I learned that they had spent a lot of money on custom updates that were important to them and maybe not others. And I learned that they were really worried about how buyers were going to perceive the house due to its proximity to a busy road. So I went to my agent coach. I put in their disc profiles because I learned from the phone conversation what I thought their disc personalities were. I rehearsed the conversation. I wrote down 3 to 4 powerful questions in my notebook, and I went on the appointment. The next day, I got the call. They hired me to be their listing agent. They told me that I was the only agent that showed up and actually had a conversation with them. All the other agents showed up with their 100-point marketing plan, and then the next person showed up with their 150-point marketing plan. But I had a conversation with them about their fears. And we talked about their uncertainty around the process. We talked about, I came to the table with solutions to overcome the buyer objection and the busy road. I came prepared with those. And the result? My clients got to move to Michigan to be closer to their family. Their house sold in weeks instead of months. And their net proceeds met their clearly defined expectations. And for me in my business, it was the highest price listing I ever took. It added $26,000 in GCI. And it gave proof that I could be successful in that price point. So if you ask me, it was a win-win. If you have one takeaway from this talk, it's this. I forget what it is. If you have one takeaway from this talk, it's this. When conflict shows up, and it will, we don't have to rely on our animal instincts. You don't have to just react. When conflict shows up in our life and our business, there's a fourth way. You can show up and be an agent. Thank you.